Welcome to Edible Thoughts Makes. This is my channel where I talk about works in progress, finished projects, things I'm cooking up, books I'm reading, and just things that inspire me every day. I hope that as you watch this episode and the previous episodes, you will find some inspiration along the way. Today, I wanted to share with you some mountain mist hats. The pattern is by Tin Can Knits, and you can buy the pattern individually or as part of an ebook or as part of a hard copy book. The book is called A Strange Brew, and it is a collection of color work projects. So this one is a hat. It is knit up in worsted weight yarns, so it's relatively quick. You use needles US 6, which is 4 millimeter, or US 8, and US 8, which is a 5 millimeter needle. The smaller one is used for the ribbing, and the larger one is used for the rest of the hat. The sizing comes in newborn, baby, toddler, child, adult, small, medium, and adult large. You can also adjust the height of the hat as you need to, but for the rest of it you would follow the color work chart. Yardage isn't very much. Their given range is 120 to 230 yards or 110 to 210 meters. I found myself to use less yardage than recommended. Usually patterns will have a little bit of a buffer in their yardage so that you don't run out of yarn, but of course everybody's gauge and tension varies a little bit, so they're just estimates. This pattern does call for 4 colors. Now if you decided not to use all 4 colors, you could do it in 3 or even 2, just alternating where you put your color work, your colors into the color work sections. I knit mine in the round using 16-inch circular needles, and then along the top, once it got a little bit too small, I switched to double pointed needles. her pattern. Apologize for the grainy printout. Our printer is near the end of its life and we just use it all the way until it stops printing anymore. So I made a set of 4 hats for myself, our daughters, and my husband. It is for Christmas. They've seen me work on it, so it's not like a surprise, but I will plan on still wrapping it up and hopefully we'll get good family photos out of it. So let's see, I'll start with, this one is for my husband. And so you have this multicolored gray, and then I switched to this tonal kind of mustardy goldenrod yellow, a tonal apple green, and then this navy along the bottom. I kept the multicolored gray as our joining color through all 4, and then switched up the rest. This one is mine. It has a dusty purple, the multicolored gray, the yellow, and then this plummy color that actually matches my hat Dana by Denise Byron. This one is for one of our daughters. She decided that yellow and orange are her favorite colors right now. I really like how the mountains here stand out in this combination. And for the youngest, she wanted pink and green. I didn't really have like a true pink, so she was okay with this peachy pink color. I also like how this one resembles a landscape with the green on the bottom and then the mountains. I think that looks really nice. For the decreasing on top, for the SSK part, instead of slipping both knitwise and then knitting together, I slip the first knitwise and then slip the second purlwise and then knit together, and that results in the knit 2 together and then the SSK part mirroring each other a little bit better. How I block my hats is I always wet block my knit projects. I feel like the fabric always comes out smoother and more even that way, especially with color work, because the tension can be so uneven until you really block it and all the yarns relax. So how I like to do it with hats is I use a balloon. So the nice thing about balloon blocking is you can blow it up and then use a tape measure. So before you tie off, measure around the balloon and see if it's at the circumference that you want. So then it can be a little tricky holding an untied balloon and measuring at the same time. I'm usually balancing the balloon like against my chest and then trying to hold the tape measure on at the same time. But then you can kind of see where your number is, and then if you need to release some air or blow in more, you can do so. And then once you are at the circumference you want, you just stick the hat that's a little damp. So after I wet block it, I squeeze out as much water as I can without wringing it, and then I put it down on a towel, and then I roll the towel up with it inside flat, and then I press all the water out, and then I unroll it, and then I have a nice flat damp hat. And then I take that and I fit it over the hat, or fit it over the balloon. Centering it if I can, so then the balloon's belly button is on the bottom, and then I just set it on top of a mug or a bowl or whatever fits to let it dry. And then once the top is mostly dry, if the ribbing part was in the bowl section and didn't have as much airflow, then I'll flip it over and then let it finish drying that way. So it's a really nice way to finish off the hats, and they come out very smooth and ready to be worn. Design of this hat is to fit nice and snug. Mine is not too tight or too loose. It doesn't have any slouch to it. It just fits really nicely. I like my hats to kind of get to my eyebrows. Any farther down, they interfere with my glasses, which don't work so well. But yes, I love this hat. So if you are looking for a fun, quick knit, maybe it's for the upcoming holidays, you still need some gifts, you want to make matching sets for siblings, for cousins, for friends, this is a hat pattern that I definitely recommend. The pattern is written very clearly in a format that is easy on the eyes. Really enjoyed making these hats, and hopefully we'll get a good family photo in the next week or two, all wearing our hats, and if that works out, then I will probably share it on my Instagram at edible.thoughts.makes. So keep an eye out there if you would like to see us all wearing our matching hats. So cheers to being creative. I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy making.